Welcome back to the Charismatic Voice. I just learned something crazy, like so crazy. I had to go and fact check it. Apparently, the only difference between Audioslave and Rage Against the Machine, as far as band members go, is the lead singer. What? My world is shaken, and I'm bubbling with excitement to make spiderweb connections in musical history. That's incredible. And with that in mind, I'm so excited to now listen to one of Audioslave's biggest hits for the first time ever. Let's get to it. Whoa. Okay. I wanted to get a little more feeling of the song and then just understand, wait a second, this goes with this and this goes with, oh, that's so cool. I love the way that immediately the instruments just, they have this groove. It feels like it somehow hits in my stomach from the very beginning. I love that. Also, I know that is Tom Morello, not Tim Morello, his evil twin. If you guys watched the first Rage reaction, you know my awful mistake. It's nice to see Tom Morello on screen and know the face and stuff. I'm going to go back to the beginning. What is he doing here? It's like... Is he just whispering? And it looks like maybe he's whispering in a text ear there. What's going on? No, I don't know. I'm very curious. If you guys know what's going on there, let me know. I love the way that the groove shifts there. There's so much space initially. It really makes you, there's a build of energy that you want to be filled by something, and then they deliver right after that. It's a good groove. Gosh. So flirty. I love his voice. That entrance is just, it's got so much slyness to it. And after such a hard pounding instrumental entrance, that sort of like slither up is unexpected and gives it an entirely different flavor while totally working. Such a nice tone too. It's crazy how close he is to the mic. I love the intensity that Chris Cornell sang with. There's a drive behind it. You can see it in his eyes as well. But he doesn't put that intensity into over-enunciation. It's very under-enunciated, just little tiny movements. And partly because he's using such little enunciation and puffs of air, he's able to get away with being just very close to the microphone, which makes it feel like intensely intimate. This is the heaviest I've heard Chris Cornell sing. It's kind of crazy. I like his pitch. He's really, like I mentioned the slitheriness. He's got so much smooth line in his vocal, but at the same time, he's really precise. It isn't sloppy smooth. It's feels like it's seething in the intensity at times. Actually, that's something that I think is very much in common with Rage Against the Machine. Zach's vocal also has a lot of seething in it. So maybe that's where the through line is, but it's so interesting to hear them with this really heavy sound, this bluesy vocal, but then he gets up into his high register and it definitely is a lot more blues rock. I want to go back a whole bunch. That moment, that was one of the moments I wanted to go back for. I just like it when I hear little breaks in the voice like that, as long as they're done in a way that isn't like scary dangerous. That is essentially a shift in vocal register, a very controlled shift, but it's almost like shifting gears in a car, and it shifts up to the next register. And it's just a switch in some of the muscle dominance within the larynx that causes the phonation to be made in a different way, and it needs to have a moment to switch that up. That, in context, just sounds like a release of emotion. I like the way he's using this expression as a way to extend beyond the high note he just reached, extend up there and basically take us on an emotional overflow. If you just let yourself feel with him there, you go, wow, what a cool way to use vocal technique to express that kind of emotion. Notice also that when he's singing these lines, he's got really great support. It's very much intensely there the whole time. It is always, always present. I don't have a lot of drop between words. In fact, if you'd had more consonants in there, we might get a more choppy line. And instead, we just have like a lot of legato, of melody that's strung together. And when he's singing this line, he's usually fairly still. He'll do little things right in between or maybe slightly at the ends, and then be still to sort of deliver that seething intensity already. that shift in the groove underneath and that pattern underneath is really, really satisfying. Whew. Oh man. I think it's so interesting how Chris Cornell, when he goes up, he gets narrower but adds more distortion in his sound. It sounds really painful, but at the same time, it also sounds super connected. It's a very, very heart-tugging sound. I love that shit. Shoot. I want to talk a little bit about a few of the other things that I see Chris Cornell doing here. Every now and then I do see that wider stance on stage. It looked like he took that right at the beginning of what I think this was just a chorus. That's, I've referred to it as Bruce Dickinson's horse stance before. That kind of stance does help you get more into the stage, helps you have more support for those really high notes. Those high notes, especially the way he's singing them, if they're not done correctly, they can totally wreck your voice. But they don't have to wreck your voice. If you have got good support, if you've got some good coordination in here and you're not trying to make that distorted sound with your two vocal folds, but you're trying to make it with a different part within your vocal apparatus there, it can be made in a healthy way. Very sustainable. And I love seeing that really wide stance that he took there. That's good. I'm also noticing he's sweating a ton. And I have to tell you that great singing is very sweaty work. If you don't believe me that I know this personally, you can go watch me sing Martin Aller Arten in the Queen Elizabeth competition and look at how much I'm sweating. I'm pouring with sweat. Constanze is a very, very difficult role in opera to sing, and my hair was very curly before that performance. You'll just see how straight it went. Anyhow, he's sweating a lot. That makes me actually very, very happy. Hope he's drinking lots of water, but that means that his body is working hard to produce this sound. Hopefully the body is working hard so that the voice doesn't have to work as hard. Let's go back. Sounds dangerous. Again, watch like how close he is to the mic here. That's definitely helpful for getting that intensity in the lows. When he's up higher, he has it further away. And he's moving the mouth so little. There's actually a lot of soft palate drop. A ton of the sound is being channeled through his nose to get some of that danger, intensity, a little bit of snarl in the sound as well. There's that horse dance. Oh, I love the shift in the groove. Wow. Whoa. That was really cool. That was really cool, Tom. I like the way, I was trying to figure out what was that rhythmic division in there, because it's definitely not your standard one. And so you will feel, I think, You feel in the drums just sort of a more standard, I think 4/4 that's happening underneath, and then he's doing some sort of cool division on top. 3, 4. Definitely slowed the tempo down. It almost felt like 15, but I think I counted that wrong because that would be like even more insane. But we could go back and analyze that all day. The thing that sticks out is the way that Tom is like just so mechanically accurate with each of those that's going by, and I love the way it shifts and goes against. And within that, we just had this big tempo shift. There's so much shifting in the groove and the tempo that's happening underneath here. It makes it a very exciting song, not just vocally, but definitely musically within the instruments. Let's keep going. There's that yodel again. Oh, that's gorgeous. It like essentially switched to major because of the way he chose to raise that half step there, and I love the ease in his voice here. Added a diphthong in there and began. That was hilarious. Added some extra vowels in there just to have some fun on noodling around a note there. Wow. And I like the way he's repeating it as well. I will say, I do wish for a little more enunciation from Chris Cornell. That I can't say only great things all the time. I understand why he's doing it as a style. That I also feel like my personal preference is I got a little more of the words. Then again, this is a live setting and it's always more difficult to get the words there. I bet that what he's doing translates really well for a studio recording and studio album. Oh my gosh, what a great build. And this is so similar to Rage Against the Machine too, then in the way they're able to build up that energy. That was amazing. It's like he's doing some overtones there. Was there a little flub in the recording there? Yeah, that's in the recording. So sweaty. Side note, the way he's holding his arms up here, that actually helps to keep your rib cage expanded, which can help prevent a huge amount of breath from going up and hitting your larynx. I really like to put my arms up when I'm going to be singing sustained high notes in particular, so that it helps give me a little extra breath control, help restrain that pressure from just going, because when it does that, it makes it more likely that you're going to crack. Ooh. Wow, that was a cool sound. Wow. Ooh. Did you see he's actually tapping his larynx to get that re-attack of some of those notes. Don't hit your larynx too hard when you do this, but a lot of people are actually kind of scared to touch their larynxes, and you can get in there. You can shift things around a whole bunch. You can even if you do like laryngeal massage, you can even get behind it and get to some really sensitive spots, but let a professional help you with that so you don't do something funny and make yourself pass out. And that being said, he's actually using a little tap to sort of jar that phonation and re-initiate it. You can do the same thing with a glottal attack from the inside, which you definitely hear in some ethnic singing, but he's doing it from the outside. It probably, honestly, if you do a really harsh glottal attack like that, it can make your voice feel a little bit tired if you're not really used to doing it and haven't developed it so that it's a little less draining. So this might actually be a thing that feels easier for him to do externally rather than internally. That is really cool. It's a very, very, very light tap. Don't crack your windpipe, okay? Whoa. Man, it feels like that performance continued into something really incredible, and I'm very curious what that was. Such a fun use of external to create a sound that's often created internally there at the end. I think that's really fascinating, but the most fascinating thing for me by far was hearing Chris Cornell plus Rage Against the Machine and understanding how those two mesh in a totally different way. If you want to hear some more of both of those being analyzed, you can check out this playlist over here, and may you fall more in love with music every day.